Hey everybody, welcome to 2017 and welcome to an all-new series on my channel here. We are in Trainz Model Railroad Edition, and we're going to be building Santa Fe Needles District. This is an N-scale layout that was first featured in Model Railroader Special Edition 102 Realistic Track Plans. It is layout number 84. It was originally published in September 2002, and it is an N-scale layout, and we're going to build it right here in Trainz Model Railroad Edition. I hope you're ready for this. So here I am, I'm working on trying to decide what kind of track that I want to use for this. I wanted to use something a little bit different than I used for the P&B, so I was looking for some new, higher definition track, and this is what I found. I downloaded it from Jointed Rail. Here you're going to see, this is the actual track plan. I imported this using base maps, which I'm going to do a separate tutorial for you guys so you can actually see how to do it. A little at a time, what I'm doing is I'm starting with the track for the yards, and I'm going to work my way around. So after reading your comments about what you guys all wanted me to build for Trainz Model Railroad Edition, this is what I decided on. A lot of suggestions were for southern routes, a route in Florida maybe, or western routes, and I was thinking to myself something that I would be interested in building too, and it occurred to me that I've never built anything desert-themed or western-themed. So after flipping through this magazine, 102 Realistic Track Plans, this is the one that caught my attention, and it's a desert-themed layout, and like I said, I've never done anything like this before, so it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a real challenge for me. I've never modeled Union Pacific or any of this like desert textures, desert scenery, so we'll see where this is gonna go. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, look at some photos, and see what we get out of this. And the other reason that I picked this layout is because it's actually kind of small, and I think I could probably get this built in 10 episodes or less. And then what that means for you guys is that once it's done, it's gonna be on the download station for you guys all to enjoy. You guys can watch me build it, and then you can download it and play on it, and you can give your feedback on it. So hopefully it comes out good. Like I said, this is going to be a real challenge for me. I've never done anything quite like this, and this will only be the second model railroads route that I'll ever have built. So I'm not really too sure how this is going to go. So the way I'm going to attack this layout is I'm just going to initially lay all of the track as best as possible, and all the parallel track, and then I go through and connect all the tangent track, all the switches. And I'm going to show you how to do that in live mode a little bit more right after this, because it's kind of a short time lapse. But what I'm doing is I'm just using the same piece of track for the main line and for all the sidings right now. And what I'm going to do is, as I develop the scenery and the theme, I'm going to replace some of that track with the dirty track or the rusted track or whatever the other stuff is to kind of get a worn effect. I kind of like doing that. It adds a little bit more contrast than just using all the same track for sidings and main lines and whatever. And along with that, you'll see that I struggle a little bit with the alignment of some of the track here. These track plans aren't drawn exactly to scale, so I had to make some adjustments. Some of the tracks are a little bit closer together than they normally would be, some are a little bit further away. So I did have to do a little bit of adjusting and tweaking, and I'm sure as I lay more buildings down and I start developing the scenery and everything like that, I'm probably going to have to make some more adjustments to the, where the tracks are and stuff. But this is just kind of roughing it in. As everything is developed, I'll polish it off a little bit better. And also, I noticed that in the notes with this track plan, it says the maximum grade is 2%, but nowhere on the track plan does it actually indicate where the grade is. I'm assuming that it's on the middle peninsula, so I'm going to add it into there. And, as it is right now, all the track is on the same plane. It's on the same height. So I'm going to add in that 2% grade, probably going from bar style to needles, and then just adjust the height of the track as needed once it gets to the proper grade. You'll see in here, I really fight with the track arrangement here. It's just the way that it was, the way that it was illustrated in Model Railroader, it didn't quite work in the game. So I sat here and I fiddled with it, and I couldn't get it right. And I eventually ended up just doing it off camera because it took me maybe about half an hour to actually figure out what would work. Just because of the way that Trainz makes curved turnouts, and I don't like them, like, they kind of bow out a little bit, and I just don't like that. It doesn't look right. So it took me a little while to figure out an exact arrangement, but I eventually figured it out. And I also struggled a little bit later on, you'll see in just a moment, with another crossover section that was really kind of tricky. Again, I'm just using layers here to double check the track plan versus the track that I have, as long as it's a close approximation. I think I might have like 1 or 2 extra tracks in these yards, but I mean, who doesn't want a little bit extra trackage, you know? I don't mind. It's more trains. And if you guys can't tell, I've managed to catch myself another cold, and I don't know how. I guess I live in the city, so what do you expect? But I was hoping that it would subside quickly, but it's taking its sweet time going away, and I really wanted to get this video out to you guys, so hopefully you don't mind, but I know you guys appreciate it. The feedback has been so good so far, and I'm really happy. You guys have been so kind to me, and I really wasn't expecting this kind of response to this sort of video series. So once again, thank you guys for being such a great audience and giving me so much great feedback so far. Like, this is just, it's so cool. I was not expecting there to be such an interest in a Trainz Let's Build series quite like this, but you guys have shown me, you've shown me the way, so thank you for that. And here's the section that I was talking about, the other section that was really giving me some problems. These triple parallel tracks and then like a double junction, it got really kind of tricky. And also because this is in N scale, the rulers are like, you have to pull them out like several tile lengths to actually get like a real measurement, so that they were pretty useless to me. But here I'm just like screwing around with the straighten tool, with the curve tool, just trying to figure out where to put that junction exactly. So yeah, after playing around with it for a little bit, I eventually got it off camera. I just had to do it off camera because it was just too much back and forth, undo, redo, this and that. So I ended up just doing it off camera, and I did figure it out, and I'll show it to you in just a moment here. But lots of fine adjustments. I had somebody mention that some of my curves, that some of my junctions are a little bit too extreme, and I agree. I got to work on them a little tiny bit. It's really tough to tell. I usually eyeball all of my turnouts and yard ladders and stuff, so I don't know if there's a really good way to tell if you're doing a number 6 or number 8 turnout or what, but yeah. Alright, so that's about all for the time lapse. Let's get into live mode and look at some things in depth. Alright, here we are in live mode, and I've had quite a number of you guys asking me to do a live build, an on-camera build, so you can kind of see what my techniques are and stuff like that. And this is going to be my attempt at it. Hopefully I don't butcher it too bad, guys. Just bear with me, okay? I want to show you how I do my yard ladders. Alright, so what you'll see here is that I already have all of my parallel track laid. So my yard, I guess, sidings, they're all laid. And I threw my tangent track, this one right here, all the way across it, and I left the track tails overlapping by at least a couple of these little squares on the grid, and you'll see why in just a minute, okay? So what I do is, let's open up our track panel here, get the right track selected. All right. The way that I do this, and the initial switch is the most tricky, because right now you've got a junction that comes off. What you need, the trick, is straight track, is to make sure that your track stays straight, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. So right now I've got a spline joining point. I don't know what you refer to those as, but what you want to do is, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little bit of a noise issue behind me. The trick is with this, when you're doing a yard ladder, is to keep your track straight, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my next piece of track, my next junction, and I'm going to grab right here. I don't want to grab onto this spline point right here. I want to grab a new one. And I'm going to drag this out to about parallel to this next diamond. Okay, just like that. And you'll see that this track wants to curve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten this out. Okay. And right now I'm left with a little tiny piece of track between this curved piece and this curved piece. And you want to make that straight. So you see, once I made that straight, it made a nice, gentle, sweeping junction. So now for the next one, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. I'm going to add my next point right about in the middle. And again, like I said, I kind of eyeball this. You're going to come out, let's see, I can count how many tiles here. I got one from this junction right here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that'll match. And again, it wants to curve that track. It wants to bow it, straighten it out. And it's going to want to do the same thing here. Click that. Boom. All right. So let's do that with these. And I'm going to show you what happens if you don't straighten your ladder track. All right, so let's go here. Click that. Click here. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's straighten these. Oh, that one was straight. Straight, straight. All right, so now what I'm left with is I got a tail track here. I don't need it anymore. I can delete it. Gone. Okay, same with these. Gone, gone. So now, check it out. This is your ladder track. This is what happens if you don't straighten it out. Now watch what'll happen if I hit the straighten button. Boom. Boom. Look how nice that looks. Perfect parallel track. Nice ladder right there. So that's how I do my ladders. I hope that helps you guys out a little tiny bit. If these were a little bit closer together, you could probably use a ruler. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll kind of draw something like this. Measure it out from the center out to here and kind of keep it consistent the whole way at like midpoints, and then you can get these junctions, these spline points, exactly the same on every one of them. But again, because this is N scale, like these points are so minuscule. Like what is this? 0.1 of a foot. So I guess that's 1 inch, right? Or would that be? I don't know. So that's pretty useless in this case. But if you were doing real scale, like that would probably be like 20 feet or something. So that would be a little bit more useful in that case. All right, guys. So lastly, I just want to note a few things about this map. I'm going to come through and fix some of these junctions and the spacing of the track. Like I said, this is kind of just like a rough draft, if you will. Certain spots I'm not happy with. Yeah, they could be better. Everything could always be better. What I'm going to also do is add... Well, I guess this will be next episode stuff. I think the next episode what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the grade. I want to say the grade is probably going to start here and work its way probably up this way and around this way and around this bend. Whoop, just like this. And probably the grade will end somewhere in here, and it'll be however much percent higher. All this track will be that height. So that'll be next episode. I'm also going to try to figure out, I guess, the shape of the fascia with you guys in a time lapse or live. I'm not sure. Like I said, this is only the second layout that I've built in Model Railroads. The first one being Franklin Avenue Industrial, which is in this game. But you know, that was the first and only one I've done. So I'm doing this with you guys. I'm learning as I go. We're going to learn together. Another thing that I wanted to note is that if you look at the track plan, all of this, the track kind of gets cut off here. All back here is going to be staging. And I didn't really want to bore you guys with doing that on camera because it's just going to be off-camera stuff anyway. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera and have it probably ready for next episode. I might even just use portals. I'm not sure. I really honestly haven't decided yet, but that'll be that. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this build in Trainz Model Railroad Edition. I want to get this out to you as soon as possible. I mean, the route itself. So I think this is going to be kind of a relatively quick build. I could probably get it done in a few months given my time. And then it'll be uploaded to the download station for all you guys to enjoy. So yeah, leave me some feedback down in the comments section there. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, slap that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Trainz Model Railroad, or the P&B, whichever one is going to come first. All right, guys. Bye-bye.